All right, so let's do a quick recap and see what we've done so far to date. First, we've set up our cloud infrastructure on Azure and used Microsoft's open source OS config. We've created a Metasploit callback server on a different cloud provider, and we've positioned our payloads onto our specific regional targets. If you're a visual learner like me, maybe this diagram will make a little more sense in what we're actually trying to do. So we are interacting with the Azure cloud, whether the public cloud or the top secret US government cloud, and we're using device twins that represent what Microsoft calls IoT hubs. But in our case, we're using these as areas of responsibility. So if we want to send commands to all the boxes that are forward deployed, say in MENA or in AFPAC, we simply send that command one time to MENA and it gets deployed to all the forward deployed boxes. Now in our case, we only have 2 boxes in each AOR, Damascus and Baghdad under MENA, Karachi and Kabul under AFPAC. So we've positioned our payload, we've created the payload, and we've delivered the payload to those forward deployed boxes through MENA and through AFPAC. So our payload now sits on Damascus and Baghdad, and a specific different target, or I should say payload, actually sits on the machines in Karachi and Kabul, because we have one target in each city that we want to be picking up that payload. It's specifically designed for that target in that particular city. So we're going to have to perform some type of social engineering attack to get the target to actually grab the payload. Okay, so we set up the callback server, which is not on Azure, it's actually on DigitalOcean. And so when we trick our target in Damascus into downloading our payload and executing it, that callback will then come back to our non-Azure callback server. Same thing with target 2, target 3, and target 4. So let's see what this exploitation actually looks like in real time in our simulated environment using Azure Cloud. Okay, let's go ahead and start up our listener. And again, I'm using SE Toolkit here. Now you don't have to. If you're really good with Metasploit or like Metasploit, then go ahead and start the listener from there. There's no reason that you have to use SE Toolkit. I just chose it because it's really easy and it's good for beginners. So if this is your first time using Metasploit, SE Toolkit is perfect. So we got our listener started. So let's take a look at our 4 different targets. Now, we're going to have to social engineer people into downloading these executables like here, and you're going to have to overcome these prompts. That's not the point of this particular exercise, but you're going to have to get them to run the payload in order to exploit the Windows 11 machine in this case and connect to our callback server. And as you can see in the lower right, we are getting these callbacks constantly as these executables are actually run. Again, you're going to have to overcome all the built-in Microsoft security features and pop-ups to make this legit, but this is just a demonstration to show you how the callback server works. And as we can see here, we now have all 4 sessions established and ready to interact with. At this point, I'm just going to start interacting with each individual session so you know that the exploit actually worked, the payload did trigger the callback, and that we're actually on each box. So, here is target 1. Exit out of here, and let's continue on and connect to target number 2 and start our shell and just do dir to show you that I'm actually on that particular box. And we notice that the payloads here are the kittens executables. Now when we log into the next 2 targets, target 3 and target 4, we'll start our shell here again. We'll see that the puppies executable is the target for the AFPAC region. So exit out of here and connect to our last one, session number 4, and start the shell. And then there you go, we're connected. So we're simultaneously connected to all 4 machines through our burnable callback server, and the payloads and exploits were actually delivered via the Azure Cloud and OS config. I hope you found this tutorial useful. Hopefully you can come up with unique and interesting ways to use Azure Cloud and OS config.